Remember when he said, code your own engine and show us how it's done, please? Yeah, I've done that. And it sucks. However, we were running at 30 FPS with just a few lines of code. Now it's 45 FPS. And of course, I have to fix this garbage, which is supposed to be a flower. Okay. I don't know how I broke it, but it happens. So basically, in stationary position, it's 45 FPS. If I move the camera like this, maybe it drops to like 40. But there's a lot going on, right? I'm rendering all of this stuff, and these are blocks instead of polygons. All right, I've chosen a different style of rendering. Plus, everything flickers. That's cool, right? That's cool. Everything flickers, no matter how close it is. No, obviously, I am terrible at coding fucking rendering engines. All right, I was not born to do this, but it has to be done. I have been asked, future game developer asked me to do this from the past. Why did I do this in the first place? I smelled that you can do more than just polygons. Unfortunately, this is still such a fucking unobtainable thing. This infinite detail, like what? It's like the most godlike rendering style, and it's unobtainable. Some Australian dude just farted it out, just found out the better way to render things. And I don't know how to do it. Why do I say it's like godlike tier? It feels like fractal. You can get closer and closer to the detail and you capture whatever, right? And of course, the leaves are the same. They're just copy and pasted leaves. You can see this is the same as this leaf. Everything is just kind of repetitive. But because this guy didn't fucking disclose his engine and how he's doing things, he just fucking bragged that he's better than a polygon uh, user. It looks good until you zoom in. Uh-oh. And technically not much changed, but it's getting scary, guys. It is getting scary. Because it's still getting better, right? We're talking about shit that happened 15 years ago at this point. And it still looked kind of cool. And again, just because I made my rendering engine doesn't mean I'm close to the ultimate solution. Let's try to put it in numbers where I have traveled and how far do I have to go, right? So the Borderlands 4 happens to be like the ultimate destination, let's say. Borderlands 4 at 60 FPS, to say the least. And potentially full resolution, but let's not think about resolution for now. I think I can get there quite easily with the resolution, but we're just gonna think about in terms of detail, because that's the most important aspect. There's a lot of polygons, and at some points, as Bruce Dell was talking about, like he knew the future. He knew that polygons are gonna get fucking messy at some point. At some point, you're gonna reach that limit. And no matter how much processing power you have, you're not gonna fucking break through this limit. What else does he say? Show us how it's done, please. We will be your customer when you pull it off. Yeah. And I'm not gonna pull it off for like 5 years. But again, I don't want to work alone. Like, if you want to be my customer, you can already be my customer and send your scouts to see if I'm going the right direction. Because if I pass you and you will eat my shit. You're not gonna be my customer. You will eat my shit. All right? So make your choice. It doesn't mean that all I want in life is just money. You know? Be my customer. Lucky you. Anyways, when you pull it off, the people doing it right now clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing, and all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know. Sure. I don't know who he's replying to. Oh, okay, whatever. Ugh. 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 See, the funny thing is, like, we played Borderlands 2, and it's like it didn't fucking lag. You know, just, like, stick to it. Where are we going with this, you know? Where are we going? This will forever be a part of my history now. So what I want to do is I want to pull some screenshots of Borderlands 4, of, like, what is on the screen. How many polygons, how many objects are on a screen, and how far am I from actually achieving this goal? Alright? I can tell you guys how far I went. Alright? So while 1 million objects is actually a starting point, and I'm still at 1 million objects in terms of detail, I was running at like 15 FPS at the start, and I had, I don't know, a quarter of resolution. So the way I went to this point is pretty obvious. I started raising this stuff significantly. Even though I didn't change anything about having 1 million objects, I was raising that performance. Alright? And eventually, in last few months, basically, I'm making breakthroughs of, like, I'm really quickly raising FPS. I just broke through the resolution thing. I'm still making incremental optimizations, and yesterday, as I've said, I went from 30 FPS to 45. Now we need a smaller pen, please, because we need to zoom in. Alright? Let's just call it F's, because, reasons, guys. Where there's some specific breakthroughs, yes, I found threading, right? Threading. I figure out how many max threads I can use to still boost my game. It happens to be a lot. It happens to be potentially 16 times more, so all of a sudden, resolution gets boosted from 1/4 into, like, 1 second. Maybe rendering distance is improved, which is another plus that you need to consider. There was some stuff I actually showed on my channel where I do, in fact, boost rendering distance again. Currently, there's no LOD architecture besides just big blocks in the distance, telling you guys the elevation of the land. That's about it. I don't know, it's somehow counterintuitive for me, but I have to reveal the resolution. Resolution is pretty fucking shit. Just 1K, guys. Currently. Now, instead of having infinite detail, what Bruce Dell failed to show is whether he can animate these objects. He probably can, but I can animate all of these objects at the same time. I can rotate, I can fly things into space, all at the same time. Everything can just fucking smash your fucking camera, basically. There's no physics baked into this. It is probably a fucking meme or whatever I'm just saying. You know, I can rotate all the flowers around, and it's like, okay. Other games do it too. They just fucking make a wind effect, basically. Like a... Every game can, like, do shaders. Borderlands actually is known for shading. The cell shading. What is cell shading? Apparently this. Apparently borders. You know? Apparently Borderlands is full of borders. And no matter how far you go, this shading just kind of perseveres. In fact, this is literally the same thing. This highlight thing, if I just made it black, that would be cell shading, guys. I mean, that's cool. I could use some cell shading, maybe. Then you can feel the distance. Objects feel like they have distance, basically. So, yeah, I could do that. It's still pretty difficult. Because, not really, actually. Nah. When it comes to detail, that's, like, the easiest part. But basically, like, if the distance differs between what is shown on the screen, then you add this little fucking outline. That's it. Now, the question is it a good idea? Does it look good? That is the real question. Like, is it really applicable all over the place? Is this style of rendering interesting to look at? But we're gonna look at the detail. And now I'm gonna start thinking, can I recreate that detail? Technically, I say there's no polygons, but there's these guys, right? Every single block is technically something resembling a polygon, all right? Yes, this thing is also technically made out of polygons because making a cube takes like 6 polygons, so fuck yeah, let's go. You know, I'll take it. But even these polygons are just like, you know, flat shapes with 4 corners, not 3. Why would I have to split that? Like, I don't understand. So technically I can have more shapes than just cubes. I can have a bunch of cones. I can have flower to actually function and be a 3D sprite. In fact, that's technically the most powerful version of a mesh available to me, which would basically substitute for actual flowers to some extent. It depends on the detail. So I'll think about the detail. Now, I don't know how much people give a fuck about the detail in general when they can't even play the game. But we have to assume that, you know, there is no controversy. We have to actually assume the better version of Borderlands because it existed. You know, like, what are we talking about? Borderlands 4 is not much different from Borderlands 2, but it lags. So, cool. I mean, that's a good addition. So let's not think about it that way. Let's think about it Borderlands 2. Alright? Or 3. For some reason. 4 doesn't work for us, actually. 4 is not a destination anymore. Build your own engine is probably correct because Borderlands 4 is not a staple to look at anymore, so cool. Alright, let's get some footage. First of all, I want to remind myself, like, what are we doing here, right? And I'm not sure about the infinite detail, but when you really master LOD level of detail, you can probably do significant things, and I can definitely spawn things in and spawn things out, meaning that I can amplify the detail of things that are close to the camera. You know, I can do those tricks. In fact, that's the most beautiful thing to do, right? You amplify the detail of things that are close to the camera. So the player gets to live in a bubble of, like, really cool shit happening nearby, then another layer of relatively interesting stuff, and then another layer of just like just the backgrounds, just clouds, basically. So, and again, you can zoom in even deeper and see this micro detail. Like every single block has this like super micro detail. I actually have an interesting shader added in, which turns pixels into micro details. So if you zoom in really close, the blocks are not like completely flat, right? Like they have these outlines. They have cell shading, guys. They have cell shading. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about right there. And it looks fucking awesome. Otherwise, it would just like look like flat Minecraft texture. So, that's cool. Honorable mention to Voxel. I could run Voxel, but now I'm actually getting scared because I got blue screen of death. Rendering engines are hard, my friends. This is the best rendering engine I've ever seen. Alright? And it kind of looks like shit to a naked eye, but you don't underestimate this. This is the best rendering engine I've ever seen. Okay? For Minecraft-like game. It also feels like it has the same infinite detail vibes. You know? It sort of went that direction. The same direction. Because you would just copy and paste blocks. But the blocks have their own, like, mini detail, right? And in the distance, the blocks just go down in LOD. Very similar to Lay of the Land. Maybe Lay of the Land looks even better. But I don't know the performance. I don't know if it's truly better. It seems exactly the same to me. Funny enough. But it's really like playing with the fucking pixel. Like, actually, it looks worse. Because, it's stylized. Voxel is stylized. It actually looks like a fucking game. And it's just bright and so cool to look at. But there's two different things. There's a little bit of physics going on. And the physics potentially are kind of optimized. So there's actually moving parts in the game. Which is like, wow, look at you guys. You have moving things. And when I move something or create objects in Voxel, the game gets a lag spike. A pretty significant lag spike. You just pick up a fucking item and you literally lose 3 FPS. If you pick up 2 items at once, you lose 6 FPS, if not more. You know, potentially if there's like moving objects, you start losing FPS. I don't know. I tried to test that, but then I got blue screen of death, you know. It's a problem. The next thing you need to know is that I'm using pretty low-end GPU. Pretty cheap stuff. Okay, that's what I have. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on that GPU, so no wonder there's blue screen of death when I'm using someone else's code, you know? I love it. Even the best fucking deal gives you blue screen, so we're still not there yet. You know, we're still struggling. We're still eating ass. When someone says, I will be your customer, I am currently eating ass. So, I don't think you want to be a customer. No, you probably do. Because again, I'm alone in this adventure of trying to unpack what my engine can do. So please, send me your scouts. I am this person, I have this Discord that you can contact me through. Send me your scouts. I'll give you the code for free. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I will be popular anyways. You know, that's just how it goes in social media nowadays. And I have many videos to be popular about, so I'll be fine. Alright, I'll be financially fine. I can give you code for free, you know? But you have to communicate with me, please. Please. You have to give me suggestions, improvements, just whatever the fuck you're doing, update me on anything you find in my engine. Please. Alright? But again, you can already be my customer. You can already start adopting my technology because I feel like my technology is pretty fucking good. It's not as good as this, but you can't adopt this technology because the fucking CEO is an asshole. But we can start getting close now. Alright? We can start building little fucking shapes. And again, I can make people accustomed to how my engine works so they can start doing shit that I am not doing currently, you know? I can't do all things at once. So again, I need scouts. Eventually I'll propose Tyrone. So this guy is Vintage Story CEO, let's call it that. I will propose him. Maybe he wants to send some scouts. Vintage Story is basically the third game. When people think about, okay, it's fourth. But I don't know if Terraria kind of fucking counts. It's literally the fourth game on the list of anyone's fucking consciousness when it comes to Minecraft. Vintage Story's it. It's not bad, but I don't know how to play the game, so I don't know if it's really good. I need extensive tutorial. I need fucking this game to be split into like just stages of tutorial stages. All right, and I can't even watch YouTube videos in this. Like, I have physical fucking repulsion to a game like this, but it's fine. It's like people like this. It's popular, guys. It's almost 1 million views on each of these videos. That's crazy. Like, how crazy is this? And I still can talk to the guy. I can still talk to the guy, guys. 1 million views. 1 million views. So the consciousness is expanding on Vintage Story right now. But it's trash. Alright? And it also has a pretty good engine. It's very optimized. I'm fucking surprised. One problem I found with Vintage Story, if you enable the greatest settings, the actually competitive settings, now you have to allocate 100 megabytes, which will take time, by the way, to create a 100 megabyte file. You have to allocate just to store all the blocks inside your computer. Okay, I don't have to do that. I can spawn blocks without, like, commitment. I don't want to commit to actually store the blocks. That would be fucking stupid. But in Vintage Story, you will have to commit. Alright? And if you explore the world around you, this will just keep on cranking, and sometimes when you are creating this file, it's gonna fucking lag spike, isn't it? But naturally, Vintage Story is actually like super duper optimized. It looks fucking amazing. So you can check this out. Finally, let's look into how Borderlands looks like. It's not what we thought.
Hey guys,
I don't know how many shapes I have to cram into just one massive object to get this great detail. I don't know. I don't know. Is this 20,000? It's a lot. Okay, but again, it's one of those like close detail things that it has to be good because you can see it on a screen all the time. But mine is gonna flicker. Okay, it's gonna flicker real hard. The nipples are gonna flicker. Alright, this screenshot is very doable. I can do it today. Alright, just do it today. Recreate this easy. So, this one's a little weird. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of creatures. Cool. Oh, bubbles. Okay, this looks interesting, actually. This looks interesting. Let's see what kind of cool angle we can get. I like where the trash exists and how detailed the trash is. And one thing with polygons and infinite detail engine that's different, I'm technically relying on just like objects coming together and forming something. So my engine is potentially going to look a little weirder I don't think it's gonna look that much worse, but I will often rely on just 3D sprites. So if something can be done with just a 3D sprite, if it's just really a flat shape, the actual detail is just gonna be like ragged just texture. It's a flat texture that extrudes basically into space. That's it. That's all I have to do. So like flat shapes like this is just a fucking sprite, you know, in 3 dimensions. It's not even that deep. What are these bubbles doing? Why is there a creature inside a bubble? I'm scared, guys. What? He did something. This is literally just a cone. These are just cones. I can do that easily. So there's a bunch of that shit. But they kind of like warp. So this would be potentially like 20 objects. But this would be just like one object with like a couple, like 4, 5 objects. It's not that much unless I want to like, split it. I might want to do that, but let's say not. This is also like everything is cone shaped. Okay, it's cylinder. I'm sorry. I don't even know shapes. My brain is full of stuff, if you can fucking tell. This is actually a fucking ball, you know? And I can sort of carve into things. The way ray tracing works, I can carve into things. And yes, I'm using the magical ray tracing, but not for ray tracing light. That would be stupid. I'm ray tracing actual objects. I should have revealed it in the start of the video, but yes. I am the ray tracer. I am the RTX guy. Oh my god. That's why my technology just simply differs. Can I get a quality boost for this screenshot? Don't crash my computer. The grass is very simple. There's nothing special about the grass. It's probably like 20 objects per like patch. Patch. Maybe it's like 300 objects. It's not even a lot, bro. This is garbage. The grass is garbage, bro, for me. It's easy. So you can maybe see that I am not even intimidated by the detail. Like, potentially it's one object. Just one ring is one object. It's a cool looking cylinder thing. I'm actually not intimidated. I think I could recreate this already with just adding a few more shapes. Except trash bags. Trash bags are scary. Alright? I can't do that. Trash bags are the scariest ones. When we're talking about like actually faithful recreation, if it's not a cylinder or just a flat shape, then I'm scared. And trash bag happens to be very weird. But potentially when I like combine balls together, interpolate somehow between the ball, like I don't know, I will be able to do some shenanigans to pull this trash bag with just like, I don't know, 6 shapes. 6 shapes, and it's still gonna look like pretty good. And maybe there's 3 shapes on top to tie it all together. So it's like, it's 10 for one trash bag. Like, this is one shape, trash bag is 10 shapes. It's gonna be fucking counterintuitive, but it is what it is, right? And potentially there's micro detail when you come closer to something. Something fucking happens. On top of that, I can like put 3 sprites together to like give like an actually nice detail. There's some kind of knob going on here, right? Like, so I literally am not intimidated. I can add like the grass. It's 400 points for detail. There's stuff going on here, but it's very cheap. It's probably just like 150 points of detail. Then these big structures, 50 points of detail. It's not much. but I have to be like really creative with how I do stuff, right? And over time, when a lot of people working for me, they will figure it out. This stuff is actually the most intimidating part, with Trashbag being 10 points of detail at least, and in total giving me, for this entire pile, maybe 200. Again, I can do million. I can do million. So this is just what I see on the screen right now is absolute garbage. The hardest part would be the mobs, because mobs have to have extremely crazy detail on them. But spawning a bunch of mobs is not going to be a problem. Animating mobs is not going to be a problem. Maybe physics is going to be a problem. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a fucking monkey with a grenade right now that could change the world. Trees are extremely simple, but like cone, 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 cylinder, cylinder, right? Bam, 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 bam. It goes a long way. I still think it's like 15 for one branch. Bam, bam. 50 for the entire tree, then you get the leaves, which potentially totals in 100 max. Oh, wow. I'm so scared, guys. 100 fucking points of detail on a tree. So we have eliminated this part of the screen, this part of the screen, and I can still do it once I just add more shapes into my game and just add more textures in the game. There's a problem with textures. There's actually limited amount of textures I can fucking pull, because you actually have to read texture into the whole system. And that shit is scary to me, okay? That shit is where I might actually have some limitations going on, because I don't even know. Because like we all know, textures take fucking 100 gigabytes, and I don't have time to create like unique gigabytes of texture data. That shit is hard for me, okay? And then loading and unloading textures, that's fucking weird thing that I would have to do eventually, potentially. I don't know. I don't want to do that. That's scary. I just gonna do Minecraft textures. I will load one sheet of textures and I'll call it a day, okay guys? Leave me alone with this one. What else do we have? It's about it. Like there's probably, oh, the rocks. Rock Dwayne Johnson's. Those are actually the most expensive, funny enough. Those would be the most expensive. But they're like the background feature. I'll give it 1,000 for the rocks. The funny thing is, what you see on a screen is not the entire idea. I actually see objects around me in 360 degrees. I just don't render anything, obviously. Right? So the objects, they have to be there. All the rocks have to be there in their entirety, basically. I just don't get to see the other side. So this rock is actually a lot bigger than you think. There's more grass than you think. There's more angles of degrees than you think. It's technically 6 times more angles and degrees. So the detail is going to be scaled 6 times, and there's rendering distance. So we're going to scale it 50 times. All right? Times 50. So even though there's not a lot of detail, we still have to prepare a lot of detail around the player, just in case. Again, what I see games do wrong, all the rendering engines do wrong, is actually not the polygons at all, but also polygons. Okay, polygons fucking suck. All right, they're part of the texture. So it's the textures that take up the most space. All right, you just lower resolution of your fucking textures, and you're better off. Okay, I think that's the problem. I can only assume, because that's the biggest problem that I will never solve, guys. Maybe if you like do like super duper LOD texturing or something, and polygon meshing, it's like maybe you can come up with something. But I mean, Unreal Engine is already using every fucking trick in the book you can imagine. The only thing that it's not using as a trick is fucking doing things properly. For other people. People who know how to use Unreal Engine, they're gonna do a good job. People who just basically got it to make some slop produce, they don't got it. So already, if we are combining these totals together, we're already encroaching into 100,000 objects territory, and I like it. I like it here. That's pretty good. You know, a lot of stuff is obstructed by just massive structures, but that's cool. That's fine. That helps. You know, we don't have to look into the distance. We can just see rock. Fine. I'll take it. See, I don't have to render some chunks if they just don't happen to be rendering. You know, I can just dismiss that chunk as like, you're not ready yet. You're not ready, soldier. We're gonna take more screenshots of this. Apparently it's a fucking... This is my main channel episode, because it's very long. Extensive research, guys. And at the same time, the announcement of like, I boosted my performance by 50%, and I can keep doing that. I can keep doing that because it's easy to do. To do these weird-ass, crazy optimizations. And now, the optimizations that I'm doing, they're gonna go this direction, and they're gonna be insane. Because I can already make something quite resembling Borderlands. Not exactly, but now, like, we're getting in that direction, for sure. The only thing left to add is fucking gameplay, you know? A bunch of guns, and now we have Borderlands. And physics. I don't know how you're gonna add physics in my game. Forget about it. You will have to add physics in the Unity itself. Not in my engine. Not gonna be baked in, guys. I'm sorry. Not yet. We see a bunch of junk here. I'll add 50 points. You probably can't go inside here, which kind of stinks, but let's just say you can, and there's a little bit of detail inside there. Bam, bam, let's just pick this shit up. Then you have mobs, potentially, at 100 detail, and I'll add, like, 5 mobs in there. Again, this is probably pretty simple stuff. What else do we have? We have the ground itself, of course. The most magical and beautiful thing. We need 1,000 for this. And there's a little bit of more tree going on. There's more stuff going on up there. So the detail level, I think we're locked in now. I think we're locked in. There's just more branches, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we can, like, round it up to 4,000. And 4,000 gives us 200 details, objects. 200k. Alright? I can do math already on this thing. What is that? This is a joke. This is fucking easy. I'll be able to do this tomorrow. You know, like... Borderlands did not intimidate me whatsoever. Alright? We can maybe bump it to like 5,000 objects, but that's all there's going on the screen. Just 5,000s of something going on. Keep moving. Intimidate me. Yeah, there is detail, but the detail can just appear, you know, as you get very close to the object. So let's see up close. Let's see this barrel up close. How many polygons have you crammed into this barrel? Alright. How much stuff do you... I can't do, like, depth that easily, but I will be able to, I think. I will be able to carve things. So the barrel is not just, like, fucking cylinder. There's stuff going on. Alright, there's, like, 2 cylinders. Alright, with a few holes in it. So the barrel is potentially, like, 10 points of detail. That's something. So, yeah, that's cool. We can 2x the detail if we want to. we can manipulate a lot of stuff, but in the end, I can do this. You know, I can go this direction, smooth ride, smooth sailing towards Borderlands 3. I can recreate the game if you want me to. But again, now we're talking about I need genuinely workers to help me out. If they want Borderlands 3 or they want a specific kind of game, they have to already start scouting and figuring out how my engine works and how to fucking use it. You can already be my customer for free. I get it, it's crazy. But you first have to discover me. It's the power of capitalism. You have to discover that I exist. That I have something that is resembling Unreal Engine 5 without the fucking AI shit. You know? There's no AI shit in my engine. If you zoom in, I lied a little bit. There's still stuff to be going forward to, because I still need to reach 60 FPS. Also, instead of AI features, I have a feature called flickering. So everything on the screen fucking flickers. Now you would ask me why. And there's stuff going on the screen, and in my code that's potentially like garbage. You know, like I can make mistakes, guys. I'm a human being. So it's not gonna look smooth.
They make you want to
at the
stop
start.
and actually.
But yeah, there's not a lot of detail going on. I'm not intimidated by any of this shit. This seems very simple. Again, the only complicated thing that they pull off is texturing. That one's very, very hard. These are kind of like the polygons that you can never get rid of. Texturing is fucking insane. You can, again, even with the Bruce Dell presentation, if you copy and paste the same shit, like you can see the staircase copy pasted, that's a lot easier, you know, than making every stair feel different. But at the same time, any detail can be basically made up in real time, right? The computer can just make shit up. So there's actually no limits to how good rendering engines can get. It's just, this is not it. This is not even groundbreaking technology. They just don't know how to use Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine doesn't know how to exist. That's just the biggest problem I see. Unreal Engine was something I was allergic to from the minute I fucking downloaded the damn thing, because it already was lagging on my computer as I was just a developer running at 20 FPS, fucking programming my game at 20 FPS. Imagine feeling like you're programming a game at 20 FPS. You're not even playing the game. You're just programming at 20 FPS. You know? You're just programming things 3 times slower than you would normally like it to be. So, I don't know. Unreal Engine seems like absolute garbage from the very fucking beginning of its existence. One thing I liked is Unreal Tournament. I liked Unreal Tournament, but it has nothing to do with Unreal Engine, right? Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, it has something to do with Unreal Engine because it fucking lags too. It's Unreal Tournament still runs at 30 FPS, I just remembered. It's not like smooth sailing. So let's look into another screenshot, maybe. But we kind of just explored everything. There's not much to talk about. Nothing going on here. I can already do it. I'm already doing it. I can say that. I just need, no. Yeah, it's easy. Easy, guys. I'm saying cylinder is very useful shape. You just get, like, generally rounded objects easily.
Which is really awesome.
Super simple.
Most of the stuttering when traveling between areas is...
rendering distance is interesting. It's quite large. Quite large.
resolved now.
But it kind of fades in into just, like, nothingness. I do the same thing. I think the rendering distance is matching, but that's the scary part, because there's a lot more detail going on, generally. Alright, so compare the rendering distance now. Alright. Where would I put this rock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 blocks apart. The rock would be fucking here. Where the trees are. That's where the rock is. Where would I put this tree? The tree is probably 3 distances away. So 3 tree distances away. There's the rock. And if I zoom out, there's that tree over there. Alright? So this tree I can still generate right now. I'm doing it right now. And then in the distance, there's some fucking stuff that disappears. And in fact, I can still see a lot of stuff. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't just fade into darkness that easily. And only then there's darkness. Alright? And from the ground level, I still need to find a good elevation, which has to be on top of a tree. Just to see things fading out, it still feels far away. It feels quite far away. And I can add crazy amount of detail over there. So, I'm already doing it. Okay, when it comes to terrain, when it comes to whatever the fuck this screenshot is, I'm just already doing it. It's not that crazy. And I could have like cool looking rocks. I can have cool looking shit already if I just added more textures. There's not much like when it comes to texture here. Maybe it's a problem when it comes to like micro detail stuff because it has to look a little bit different, but it still looks unique even when you just look at the same texture rotated a bunch of times. Like, it still looks unique, you know, and it still looks like something. Yes, you can peek through it if you do it this way. Obviously, I will change something about the way terrain fucking works, but that's it. He asked for build your own engine, and I happened to know a guy. I happen to know a guy who is building an engine, and he was interviewed in this video. Thank you very much for your service, guy. Thank you very much. Get fucking dominated.
Although load times are a little...
The real question is when I will start baking in lighting and how it's gonna look like. I'm not sure because ray tracing is not fucking super duper cheap when it comes to lighting. That might act... I don't know. I genuinely don't know how expensive this effect actually is. Just putting shadows. Look how much FPS he has. That's crazy. This is the stuff that scares me because all of a sudden, whatever the fuck they're doing a good job. They're boosting performance significantly.
With massive amounts of loot and objects around.
Yes. Instantiation of objects is the hardest part. And usually because of texture grabs and polygon grabs. And removals and all that stuff. But the funny thing is, again, about my engine, is not only I can do this detail, but the trees can rotate and scale. And just pop out and fly into space whenever they fucking feel like. Alright? Whenever they feel like, they can leave. They don't have to be here. I'm not pushing them around. Or they can shrink into a tiny tree. I don't care. I don't care what you do, tree. You have freedom of expression. And again, every tree can do it all at the same time. They can rotate all at the same time. Just like these rocks, basically.
Around the place. But
you know, just falling apart. This entire rock can just like fall down on my opponents. It can be like a destructible terrain or whatever. Like, the possibilities are endless in my engine when it comes to terrain actually being modified. Like, you can dig into the terrain, you can do Minecraft things with something that looks like AAA title that you can do nothing most of the time. But in my game, you should be able to do everything you can come up with when it comes to modifying terrain. So this dropping to 70 FPS, this is a joke to me. Because when I said 45 FPS, I mean it. There's nothing below and there's nothing above currently. It's just 45. Very much on average. Maybe you can drop to like 30. Maybe. I'm technically dropped to 30 right now. right? No, no, it's not even that. No, it's 40, and on average is 45. You're not gonna drop 3 times in FPS ever. That just doesn't make sense to me in my engine, the way I built it. It's very solid. And so this is a promise. No lag spikes. Everything is consistent. Everything is fucking consistent. Do you understand what that means? When people fucking give you specs of the game, you know that it will run the damn thing, and it will run. Not only it will give you the specs of the game, but it will tell you what FPS you're gonna get, and that FPS is gonna be very consistent on your screen, right? What resolution you're gonna be using? What if there's no even like system requirements? Is your system will be able to push the game into a certain fucking level, right? 4K resolution, that's 4K. 200p is 4K. No, it's 4K by 200. I think I'm at this resolution right now when it comes to my game. No, it's 1000 resolution. Right? I don't remember, guys. Like, I feel I just multiply this and I'm 512p. It's not even that much. Oh no, 70? No. It's just 512-ish in this ratio. It's trash. Resolution is trash. But the moment I fucking improve resolution, now I'm creating a texture that can crash my computer. So, I don't know, man. It's the textures, bro. The textures that fucking stab me in the face. Including the fucking texture that shows things on screen. The dynamic texture. Just that alone can be so big that somehow I can't even cram it into GPU and it fucking crashes. It genuinely fucking stinks. You know? When I'm talking about resolution, I'm like, well, my computer will crash if I have 2K resolution. I'm sorry, guys. If I switch to 2K it will crash the computer. It is what it is. It's weird to me, actually. This is why I need scouting of people who know any bit of magic when it comes to rendering. It will do. So that's it. That's my presentation, guys. We're going this way very soon. Just want a few more optimizations. We get 60 FPS. Pretty easy. I add fucking cylinders, basically, and we start traveling. We start zooming. Alright? This is not a big distance. You will start seeing this fucking close in on a game of my choice. Alright? It's probably not going to be Borderlands 3, but it is Skyrim with guns. It could be Borderlands 3 anyways. You know, I don't know. But I also have to consider, like, I want to have destructible terrain to be useful somehow. Like, there has to be a lot of, like, interactive elements in this game. I'm not sure what I will pick for my final destination, but I can arrive to this easily. I'm starting to travel. Lend me a hand, subscribe, support, type in some comments. You know, you might have never been nice today, but now is your chance to be nice, productively. And YouTube is going to be like, wow, this person is nice now. He typed in a comment. He must be very interested in this concept. I have to show this concept to more people. This is how you share my videos. You engage with the video. That will share my videos to other people. Thank you guys for watching. Please, I hope you are excited as I am. A lot of people are. If they bumped into my project, but now you know the specs, okay? Now you know the specs. See you guys next time.